Yo, what up? I'm Ant.
I'm Dev.
It's Redzone Rants, brother. How you been?
Hey man, I'm doing pretty good. It's been a while. Man.
Yeah, it has, man. I think we missed the draft, so
We did, and a lot has happened in between our last episode, including the draft. So there's definitely a lot going on.
yeah, man. For starters, how you feel about your pick in Pittsburgh?
The first round, I like who we got. That offensive tackle. I was kind of pulling for Mims, but the Bengals stepped in front of that. And I'm satisfied with the overall draft, though. I think we did a good draft for sure.
Yeah, interesting. I didn't really get the angle of it, kind of, because I thought you would pursue more outside weapons, I guess. But I guess that's another
Hey,
topic.
we signed Scotty Miller, brother. We got our outside weapon.
Mm, wow, Scotty Miller reference in Big 24 is crazy.
It's not a reference, brother. They really signed him.
What?
Yeah, they
The guy
signed.
who's in Tampa?
Yeah,
Jesus.
yeah, they really signed Scotty Miller, brother. I wish it was a joke. I do.
I mean, hey, he was a speedster for that one game. I mean, that's the only game I remember versus Green Bay, but hey,
Hey
I'm pretty
man, whatever they're cooking over there, I'm gonna just let them cook.
I'm pretty excited about the Bengals picks. I think they hit on everything that we pretty much needed. I mean,
Mims
franchise
is
guy
a
went down.
Mims is a dog, man. Y'all got a good one with him for sure.
Yeah, I think it's bigger because we don't know if that's going to be a project, I guess, or not. He only
Hmm.
played, I think, 816 snaps. He didn't give up a sack, but it's relatively small for somebody picked that high. So I think his experience, I think he only played a year and a half combined. So, I mean, I
Yeah,
think he got 12, 13 games in him. So, no, did he? He probably got to be a little better. But I think he's a freak athlete, though. He fits all the intangibles that you'd want, and he's really young. So, I guess there is a lot of upside, but I wasn't really
he
sure if we was going with him or
he is huge, and the craziest part is he's not even. He's like the third biggest tackle you guys got, and he's 6'7", like 350. So
yeah.
hey, they're
I
building them tackles are huge in Cincinnati, bro.
My thing is you can't start three tackles, so it'll be interesting. I know you don't really want to move a guy in on the inside when
Yeah,
you mess up his development and stuff like that. So kind of curious. You bring in Trent Brown. I'm not really sure how that's going to play out, or if we just go jumbo set, maybe swing tackle. But
maybe.
Brown's only on a 1 year deal, so I kind of I get it. You got your insurance for the future, but just for the purposes of now, I don't know what happens.
Right. So what do we want to get into first here, man? I got a couple things written down. Is there anything you want to start us off with? Or?
Um, since we're no, I'll let you go first. I'll let you. I'm gonna wait for later on to give you the heat. I'll let you go first.
All right, all right. Kind of in the vicinity of the Bengals still, man. What's going on with T. Higgins and Trey Hendrickson, man? They gonna be on day one? They gonna be there week one?
Woo! Hey,
Are
I'm
y'all hot, man?
I'm gonna be honest. I think all signs are pointing to T and Trey being their day one, really, because Cincinnati does a way of business that they haven't changed forever. They don't care about none of the trade. One, neither are in position of power right now in the
No.
talks. So, I mean, T might have a little bit because his market is huge, and Michael Pittman's getting 75 million a year, and so I can see T's market. But in the same breath, Cincinnati doesn't care about that. I say that non-biasedly, but as a Bengal fan, I know I've seen the story. Carson Palmer, and like they don't. Carson wanted out for like 3 years before he actually got what he wanted. The problem was he just got paid, so they're not
Right.
going to give you 50, 40 million or whatever they want to give you and let you
I
just go.
thought I thought Trey just signed an extension
Yeah, we
like
legally can't.
recently.
Yeah, so the rules say we can't even give him an extension till I think October. So like literally around my birthday, that's when he should be expecting that. I don't know who signs a deal. Like that's like I just got a new job, and that's like me like starting 3 days into my new job, and I'm like, so you guys can raise the pay. Like it's like what? That's not, that's not even legal. And his agent's in a like he needs to fire his agent. I think threatening to retire when you're asking for more money is kind of weird when you're not Aaron Donald. Let's like honest here, like
Yeah.
you want more money, but your alternative is to retire. It doesn't add up. So I think that's just all a bluff for, I guess, more money, more incentives. I mean, the way the NFL works, if you can be a million or two away from negotiations, then you're pretty close, even though that
Yeah.
sounds like a huge number to some average people. So
Right.
I think it's only like maybe 2 or 3 more million. Trey deserves it though. He's the best
Oh,
defensive
he's a
player.
dog.
Yeah, second in sacks. No other pass rusher. So he's kind of doing the Chris Jones thing. I think literally where he might just hold it out until we give him some more money, but he's super important. So
Do you
I
think either of them will actually hold out and just flat out not show up to training camp?
I think Chi says he plans to show up. I think he said that 2 weeks ago. Uh, let's say he doesn't. The new thing is hold in. So if you actually don't show up, they cannot give you that what's that shit called? Oh, that contract or whatever the little pay is for the OTAs and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't actually attend, they don't have to pay you. So the new thing is holding in, just showing up, not putting on pads or doing anything. So I think they'll both. Well, not they'll both. I don't know about Trey. He's kind of older, but I think T shows up for sure. I hope. I hope. I hope. I got a lot of desperation in my voice.
Kodak Black, I hope so.
Yeah, man, that's a tough topic. I understand the pay side of things, and I also understand you know, franchises just paid Joe Burrow and someone to protect him, and then you got Jamar coming up. So if
Yeah.
Pittman's getting 80 million a year, Jamar Chase has got to break the bank, which he probably will, and he knows that. I mean, he said that multiple times, like last year in the offseason, like I need the biggest contract I can get. So
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
going to fault anybody.
Understandably, for sure.
Yeah, I just wish, I just wish it was. I don't know. As a Bengal fan, I just wish we can get this shit settled because it feels like every offseason, if it's not an injury or somebody beefing or we never just have a perfect offseason just being quiet. So,
Just a quiet little off season, huh? It was
yeah,
quiet there for a while though. Y'all wasn't doing anything. Wasn't doing shit.
what do you mean by that?
Y'all wasn't doing nothing for a while. You was about ready to go right after your GM, bro.
Yeah, I think as a Bengal fan, I was a little impatient by a while. I mean, like day 3 of free agency, I was wondering why, but the splashes we made, I loved them. Zach Moss, 5 point yards a carry. He'll be a nice little duo threat with our second tier back we already have, Chase Brown. I
Yeah.
think they add a different type of dynamic. We haven't had maybe since I've ever been alive. We've never went like two speedsters at back. I think it opens up the offense. Draft Jermaine Burton. It looks like this every year we say this, but this is the best O line Burrow's got, which I think is maybe a slight compliment to Mike Brown because every year the O line has gotten better. It might have not never been good, but it's always been better than what it was last year. So
Right.
I feel like we're definitely moving in the right direction. I'm kind of getting off the phase of winning all these targets. I'm seeing Mahomes defy how that works, and you just get 5 targets in a run game, maybe a defense. Your QB should be able to do enough. We don't really got to load the board up. So, I mean, hey, I like Jermaine Burton. If he walks, I honestly think Joe Burrow is who I think he is. That shouldn't matter, and that's the really honest truth. Like,
It may not. It may not for sure.
I mean, if we as a collective whole, I guess in the media say Burrow's top 3, top 4, and he's Mahomes' kryptonite. Well, Mahomes lost like Tyreek Hill and did skip a beat. And then he lost his other sounds bad, but Juju, his number one of the one Super Bowl, and he didn't skip a beat. So I
Saying
mean,
you're number one in a championship team is Juju Smith Schuster is kind of crazy in itself.
yeah, but I
And
think
then they lost them and then still went back. So I
you see a
think
lot.
Burrow's one of those guys that should and probably could be able to do something like that if he could stay healthy.
Yeah, the health is a big concern. It's funny. A lot of Bengal fans saying if there's another injury, what are the questions that you draft a QB maybe in third or fourth round, just as a backup per se? I don't know what they were meaning by that. I don't really agree with it yet, but I like the idea. just to have someone.
I kind of see the angle. If Burrow takes another, season-ending injury at any point, that'd be his third season-ending injury out of 5 years. Um, obviously you don't draft another quarterback in the first or second round, maybe not even the third. But once you get into those middle rounds, maybe you take one to kind of a better insurance than some of these backups you get off of free agency or anything like that.
I agree, but to what? I mean, I biasly, I thought the Bengals had a top five backup QB in my head. I mean, I
He
didn't.
he, he did do solid. He
I
he
didn't.
uh there was a couple of times where it was like maybe
Okay,
maybe Joe Burrow,
let's stop there. Let's stop
hey,
it.
you know what? You know what?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, man, these ain't my words. These ain't my words, all right?
Hey, man. Well, you send those words back to wherever they came from, because that's not the truth. We're heavy nine over here, but let's pivot a little bit. I was curious. There was a lot of rookies that's drafted. I'm gonna go ahead and give you my first one, rookie of the year for offense.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Xavier Worthy, wide
Okay.
receiver, Texas, 26 TDs in only 3 years. He had 1,000 yards. He had 7 plus grabs of 20 plus yards, and he ran a 4.22. Playing with Pat Mahomes, man, that almost reminds me of Tyreek Hill, except with maybe 3 inches of height. And the guy can get, I don't want to say open in the phone booth because it's more like his speed, but his acceleration is NFL ready. It's
Oh,
been
for
like
sure.
that probably since his sophomore year in college. So, if anything, you got the thing where you can't coach speed, and I think you give him to our GOAT. I mean, in the era, like the era's GOAT, Patrick Mahomes with Kelsey. I think it's I mean inedible, or I don't even think I said that right, so I'm gonna stay off of that. But I think with Rasheed Rice fighting demons and going through what he's going through, they don't have any
Hey,
choice right
he is. He's got it rough right now, bro.
now. Like, I don't know why Andy Reid even. Yeah, we're not even. That's a whole different topic, but he should be able to step into that role. They don't have a wide receiver right now as we speak, McCole Hartman. So I think he can come in and make an instant impact. But I was curious on your thoughts on who you like is the offensive rookie of the year early.
Early, I like Worthy teaming up with somebody like Mahomes. I'm almost kind of surprised that he fell all the way down there. I mean, I know they traded up, but I didn't even expect him to see the 20s really. So I think that's a steal for sure. I don't know why the Bills would make that trade. They've
Yeah,
kind of been getting their ass beat by the Chiefs for a while, and then they go and give them a guy like that. But
yeah,
mine's a little less like a little more of like a cliche pick. I really like Marvin Harrison. It's like
okay,
the easy, safest fucking
yeah.
answer in the world. I would say Malik Neighbors, but he's got Daniel Jones throwing him the rock, brother. I don't know if he's gonna see 800 yards this year. I'm not gonna lie.
He's
Uh,
got a whole bunch of A monies at QB.
he actually Neighbors had a bet with Jaden Daniels for Rookie of the Year, and he called off that bet after one practice with Daniel Jones. So
Mm,
I'm gonna say Marvin Harrison. Kyler Murray. He's obviously good. The Cardinals' offense looked a lot smoother at least once he came back last year. So I think he'd be a pretty safe, easy choice. I mean, he's obviously the best wide receiver in the class. So we'll see.
I agree. As well as best player all around at for his position in the class, I'd say. But I also think I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Rome.
Rome, yeah, he was up there with one of my choices too, for sure. I
Yeah,
like I like him in Chicago a lot.
yeah.
So
Like the only thing that would maybe take away from the pick is they added so much to the offense, so he
they
might
did.
actually come in as third option. But it's rare you see someone drafted top 12 as a wide receiver, and they're not even a top two receiver on that team.
I
So
know.
they,
I would have been more keen to going with Neighbors if the Chargers would have drafted him at 5 instead of drafting an offensive tackle, which kind of made no sense to me then. It still kind of doesn't, but especially because Justin Herbert's throwing to a bunch of me's out there right now. So I feel like they could have really used a guy like Malik Neighbors, but hey, it is what it is.
bro, I was hearing reports out of their mini camps and stuff like that before that the draft. They were actually contemplating like Justin Herbert. Like he wanted to rebuild. Like he was going to start from
You know, that
scratch.
doesn't surprise me. I heard people talking about
Yeah,
them
he wanted to die.
trading Herbert and drafting McCarthy and like just really bringing Michigan to LA, bro.
That would be insane, bro. I was like, that was a serious convo though, like
That
because
team would be the nastiest 0-16 team ever, bro. 0-17.
I guess it really just, I mean, Herbert is a premier quarterback, so depending on what you get back, which you probably could get a future back from Herbert. The problem is, whomever you're sending him to, they just became into that race. Like you
Oh,
just
for
made
sure.
whoever an instant contender. Like Herbert can probably go to Carolina, and they're probably going to win 9 and 10 games if he's healthy.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
kind of
if the Chargers said, "Hey, our lines are open for Justin," they're probably getting 25, 26, 27 teams almost out there calling, trying to 27 teams puts them borderline top 5. So I'd say that's pretty close. 25, 26 teams probably calling on the line, seeing what their
yeah.
offers are.
It'd be easier to say the teams that wouldn't call than would call. Put
Oh,
it to
for
you like that.
sure.
Like maybe the Chiefs, Bills, Bengals, Ravens. We get kind of tricky with
You,
the Cardinals.
maybe you're talking the Texans wouldn't call.
I wouldn't call now. I'm
Even
good.
even if right now you say Herbert is better, you can't after the rookie season that Stroud just said, you can't just get rid of that for somebody who's, maybe even just marginally better. Like you can't just even slightly better, you can't just get rid of that. So
I,
I think the Cardinals would probably call. I
I
think they
forget
would.
who we were talking about, and I said, "See, I would take CJ over them," and you guys were like, "Hell no." Who was that? Who's the QB? Was it? It might have been Josh Allen though.
I think it was Josh Allen.
Yeah, but
They wouldn't call.
it was just going forward though, like going to next season.
Hey,
Like
if Stroud can just build off of what he's already done, then for sure.
I just I think we've already seen the peak of Josh Allen, and a lot of people don't want to hear that. But we've seen what Josh Allen.
Especially because have you seen that wide receiver room?
Oh man, they're
That's all time.
bro losing Diggs, and then you lose. I didn't even like Gabe Davis. I'm going to be honest with you. I thought he was like a one trick pony in that AFC game. He tends to have games of like 2 catches and 60 yards for a touchdown, but no one ever talks about the games of no catches period, which he had like 5 of them. So he's
Yeah.
not. But just losing him, I think they have Shakur, which I had a coworker at my old job that kept telling me about this guy, and I'm like, bro, he's not.
I've seen some things on him. He's all right, but right now he's like their wide receiver one.
Come on,
So
man.
he's fringe wide receiver 3 at best. So they're gonna struggle this year. I got a good feeling.
Like Shakur really reminds me of like Trenton Irwin. so I'm like, bro, these guys are like relying on it. Trading Diggs to an AFC opponent. I'll never understand it. But maybe Diggs is 30 and they're seeing the cliff fall before anybody else. I don't know. So
Maybe
I
trading they traded Diggs to a good AFC team, and then they traded their draft pick with the Chiefs to draft another wide receiver, all while they leaving Josh Allen out there with nobody to throw to. It don't make any
like
sense.
the only AFC team that I can say that really it was successful trading to another, I guess, rival or AFC team would be the Texans because they just got so much back.
Oh
Like
yeah, for sure.
they literally started a fake dynasty or whatever you want to call it, like just with those picks. So,
Mm-hmm.
but
Just crazy.
you building up another team, you're gonna have to see down the. I don't understand it. Like I remember I sent you that thing and it's like the Steelers are trying to talk about T Higgins and I'm like, bro, it's not real. Like
Nah, it's not gonna happen.
Pittsburgh would know better to even make that. Like they're not gonna call that. Like
Not only it's like one thing when you're trading within like the AFC, but like when you're talking inside the division, bro, that is
oh
so
yeah,
rare to happen,
I don't
especially
think.
the AFC North.
Yeah, I don't remember of that ever happening in the North ever. Like
Cincinnati would see that Pittsburgh area code pop up and block
oh,
that number.
bro,
Block that number.
um, bro, I don't even think Mike Tomlin has the Bengals number on their phone book. Like I
Probably
really
not.
don't. He's probably got like 28 teams and no 29 teams, and the other 3 teams in the North. No, like
Nah.
that's why it's just weird that like I think it does happen as far as free agency, but trades, oh hell no. But I want to move on to my defensive rookie.
Okay.
He's a mid major. Uh, Quinyon Williams, Philadelphia, cornerback, Toledo. Now, Dev, you can attest. I'm not trying to toot the own horn, but I called Sauce Gardner. I said Sauce was going to be this before he even seen the NFL. I had a bet with multiple people.
So what you're trying to say is you want to drop your field goal percentage by half. You want to go 1 for 2.
No, man, I'm saying this guy's like 6'2" ish, 6'1" ish. He's 200 pounds, ran a 4.3, and he was targeted 70 times. He gave up 22 catches. He had 6 takeaways. He's a great tackler. I'm telling you, man, the guy's probably, I think they spent the first round pick on him as well. It's really rare for a mid major to even make the first round pick at corner. I mean, it's Sauce. That's what I'm saying. Like last time we've seen it was Sauce. So I do believe that his impact is going to be great. They're aging over there in the DB room in Philadelphia. Actually, I think all of them are over like 28, 29.
Yeah.
Slay's much older. The guy from Tennessee, he's much older. So
It's
I think,
crazy. They drafted 2 of the arguably top 3 or 5 corners in the whole draft because they got that
yeah,
Cooper out of Iowa. And, I don't think I don't, he'll be a safety by week 8, brother. He'll be by the trade deadline. He'll be a safety. I
yeah.
guarantee it.
I
That
don't,
ain't no.
you know, I'm not going to say nothing that can get me like in trouble, canceled. So I'm just going to say he's got to show me on the NFL level. So he's a really
Look, if you're Justin Jefferson, are you getting locked up by a white boy named Cooper?
see. It's much better if you say that, Dev. But I'm not even going to throw that term in there. I'm just going to say he's small.
He's
He
coming
lacks
off a leg injury.
foot speed. I mean, he didn't he didn't jump high at the like his combine intangibles didn't stick out. Like he was an All American who didn't see first round, which should give you clarity. Like who's an All American in a Power Five and doesn't make first round? I'll wait. So I mean, it's nothing that I have. It's nothing. I'm not even going to bring in because the white thing. I'm not going to do that and get canceled. I'm going to say, bro, the intangibles don't add up. He can't get open in a phone booth. He's not a leader, man. He's like
He
got,
don't need to get open in a phone booth.
he's just like, hey man, I'm not even trying to I'm trying to articulate this in a way
So
that's
so basically, for lack of better words, you ain't moved by that.
not at all. Uh, he's just another guy. No, a jag,
Whoa,
a
whoa,
jag,
Jag, he's Jag.
just another guy. Hey man, I don't. Hey man,
I don't know that there's a need for any further comment on that guy right there, man. I really don't.
yeah. But his rookie co-fellow teammate Quinyon Williams
Much better guy, I'm sure.
out of Toledo as well. So you love to see them Ohio boys. They built different. There's
Oh, for
something in our
sure.
water. I don't know what we got in our water, but hey, I respect him, and I really do believe in him, though. I really do. I think they they were kind of getting picked apart toward the second half of the season as well. So you
Yeah,
need.
they'll definitely a big position for them. I understand why they took 2 of them early.
I got an interesting topic to get into.
All right, let's
So
jump into it.
I'm a huge Michael Penix fan. You as you know, I I think he takes this job this season. How you feel about that? Not to
This
start,
season,
but at some point, turn the keys over.
not this season, I don't think. Um, Maybe going forward, maybe. I would hope so, considering how much money they just paid for Kirk Cousins. Uh, more power to them, I guess. I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't spend almost $200 million on a quarterback and then draft one in the top 10. Seems a bit unnecessary. And the reason Kirk left Minnesota is because they told him that, hey, we're drafting a quarterback early, and he was like, all right, I don't want that. I want to be the quarterback, and fucking went to Atlanta only for them to do the same thing. So, um, no, I don't think he'll take it this year, but he may going forward if he pans out. He's old. He's always hurt. Uh, he's left-handed, which I mean the only that comes to mind is Tua at this point. And if he's just another Tua with injury problems, then I'll pass on that.
Tua does have injury.
He's got concussion problems now. Yes.
Tua wasn't that. I don't think he was that durable at Bama either.
Didn't he come in for Jalen Hurts? I thought that's when that all started.
Yeah, but Hurts wasn't like injured. He was just ass. Like this is a production thing, my brother. Like it had nothing to do with like if you were healthy. Like I agree though to a certain extent. One, I'm gonna say for starters, Kirk Cousins, shut the hell up. We don't care what you feel about this situation. You were just giving like a bag with winning one playoff game in like 150 NFL games. So I don't
Hey,
care.
he does have a really good agent. I'll give him that.
Oh yeah, he's the GOAT. He's got like the Johnny Cochran of agents. Like
He's got like some of the most guaranteed contracts ever, bro. Like he's
yeah,
paid.
his money is insane. And another thing is, I think if we're being realistic, if we see Kirk Cousins how we see Kirk Cousins, I don't think he's a bad QB. Actually, that actually goes into my argument. He's going to get you like 8 to 10 wins. So you may never see a top 10 pick in the next 3 or 4 years. You could be floating around 7 and 10ish, eight, like around that.
Yeah,
Pretty much the Vikings are. And the only reason why they were able to see a low pick is because he tore his Achilles. So, I mean, I don't think in that division, they don't even, I don't think there was ever going to get this pick again. So when you get somebody that you see as transgen or transgen, you know what I mean.
I know what you mean, brother.
Salute. If you see someone that you see as a generational talent, though, you have to go and grab them. You can't hold your feet to the fire just because who's to say? I mean, he's coming off an Achilles, man. Like,
That is my biggest knock on Kirk Cousins right now is his age combined with an Achilles injury. We don't even know what to expect from Aaron Rodgers this year, let alone somebody 3 or 4 tiers below Aaron Rodgers with
yeah,
Kirk Cousins. So
it's is he even? I mean, we haven't even got word. Is he even ready? Like, is he
yeah,
cleared for week one?
I
Like,
think he's throwing and he's doing stuff like that, but I don't know if he's like what kind of running he's doing yet. I'm not aware of what's going on with that. So
yeah, bro, Aaron Rodgers almost fucking defined the world, bro. He was like running, throwing off of it. I don't know what he was doing, but I can say as someone who's had like 5 major knee surgeries, so I've been hit by a car and broke my femur bone. I've blew out my ACL, MCL, PCL, my hamstring, and my calf, and I've gotten so many other little knee injuries like dislocation and shit. Bro, what he's doing, what he did was just a miracle, bro.
bro, he was throwing 60-yard bombs on the run like
What?
2 months
Like
after his Achilles blew up on national TV.
he's like kind of like not fully jogging, but he's like, bro, I couldn't even walk for a period of time, like months. And like this is like within 5 or 6 days of his surgery. Like he's
Yeah,
just so I don't want to
yeah.
say I'm not
I
worried
don't
about
know. I
that,
don't know what he's doing in those dark huts up in the woods and shit, bro. But that shit must be working clearly.
bro. His mushrooms and acid got like healing power, bro. Like
Yeah,
he's
it
like
does, bro.
it's like the NFL let like a junkie become superstar QB. Like
Hey, he might be like the biggest crackhead in the NFL right now, if we being for real. And you know what? He's throwing the ball and looking great a
it
week
doesn't
after an
matter.
Achilles surgery. So let him go, Lawrence Taylor. Then man, he's doing coke pregame and shit.
I mean, the thing that we do forget, I mean, they are football players, but some of these guys did come from big universities. So I do want to kill the stigma, like they're just big dumb football players. Not obviously you weren't saying that, but a lot of these guys are like, these guys are just football players, and some of these guys are got into the schools that we would never even dream of. I mean,
Right.
Cal Berkeley is not like Aaron Rodgers gets a lot of the dumb screw shit. Like he's a dumb
I
guy.
think that's just because he has a very unique thinking process
Very,
nowadays.
very opinionated, but I don't think someone's dumb because they think out of
Nah,
the ordinary. Same with Kyrie Irving. I think a lot
yeah.
of these guys are.
I don't think Aaron Rodgers is dumb or anything like that, but he definitely some of the things he says is like, why are you even like thinking that way right now? But hey, you know what? Good for him.
I think though. Yeah, I'm not even gonna. I'm gonna hold that off. I'm gonna hold that off. Let's keep moving down the line. I got. So this is more of a you question.
All right.
So does Justin Fields take over the starting job or
This year I'm gonna. He's probably not gonna be week one starter. I would say probably not. I think they kind of cleared the air with
okay?
Justin before they even traded for him that Russ was going to start. Um, I do think that I think Jalen Warren, our running back, said that they was talking about Justin Fields returning kickoffs. I think that's, I don't think they're going to do anything like that. That would be stupid, truthfully.
They were
Um,
talking about it as players.
yes, yes. Well, he
The
said that
coaches
there's,
was
they, no, he said that their special teams coordinator was talking about it.
yeah.
Now, how true that is, that'd be fucking retarded or stupid if you ask me. But no, they didn't pick up his fifth year option. But I don't think they'll trade for him just to let him walk next year. So we'll see. I think it'll be Russ week one though.
I, so the interesting part of it is so how I break the AFC North down. I think they have not including the Steelers right now because we're talking about them. Um, they probably have two out of the top four pass rushers from the Ravens and Browns, and then you have someone Trey Hendrickson who's second in sacks in the NFL from the Bengals. Meaning all that to say, you have great pass rushes in the AFC North, and you need to get out the way. And Russ hasn't showed his mobility since 4 to 5 years. So I feel like Justin Fields would probably be the better fit just for an inconsistent O line. Who I know you guys took a tackle, but you don't know if he's going to be right week
Right.
week one or year one. So
Right.
I feel like with the uncertainty of it, I feel like it's going to happen. I just don't know. Maybe week five ish. But I don't believe in Russell Wilson anymore. He just had one of the best offensive minded coaches you could have at the QB. It's a very QB friendly system, and guy couldn't get it done. I mean, that's as bluntly as I can put it. And the numbers were inflated if you watch the games.
Yeah.
Peyton made sure to keep him out of harm's way with a heavy run game, and Sean Payton didn't even do that. He's got QBs up to 5,000 yards. That's how I knew, this guy's trying to cover ground for someone he can't win with. So it'll be
I
interesting.
do agree that Russ's best days are for sure behind him. And I think that Justin is definitely going to be our better quarterback, like long term for sure. Um, but at the same time, with the whole Sean Payton thing, I think Sean Payton just flat out didn't like Russell Wilson. I mean, that was evident from the time they hired him. Like, because Russ was doing some weird shit with like had his own office or something like that,
He has on
and
parking
Sean
thing.
Payton walked in. He's like, no, get that out of there. So I think he was just kind of weird about him from day one. Now that's not to say that Russell Wilson's not ass or like
Yeah.
way off of what he used to be. I think he very well could be that, but I think him and Sean Payton were never going to work out. Basically, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, Peyton came in with the wrong attitude, definitely.
A
He
little
came in
bit.
with the glasses half empty and not half full type attitude.
Oh, for
So
sure.
I definitely don't think that it was a match made in heaven. But I do think if you can't work with Sean Payton as a QB that's already won a Super Bowl and you're a
Yeah,
veteran, like how much better are you going to get?
right. I
Not to
think
say
he's past the point of getting better for sure. I think he's just trying to more or less slow down how quickly he falls from where he once was.
yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, I don't think Seattle's losing sleep
No,
over. I don't think Denver losing sleep either. So it's like either the teams that had Russ, his success maybe. Uh, I'm not gonna say he's not a starter, but I just don't believe in Russ to win you where the Steelers want to go, and that's I guess at least a playoff win or two, if not the Super Bowl. I mean that's I guess the standard for a team that's got so much history. So I'm not sure what. But granted, I mean, Justin Fields hasn't showed us much better in the last 4 years, other than a
Yeah.
couple of flashes. So you're kind
He's
of
he's showing flashes, and he's got a lot of the pieces physically that Russell Wilson doesn't have right now. The only thing about Justin is his numbers and like some of the things that, but schematically, I think Chicago has been like one of probably the least QB friendly teams to play for in like the whole league for years,
and
going
now
way back. They've never had a 4,000 yard passer, so to say that to put full blame on any quarterback that comes through there is kind of a hard thing to do right away until you see them go somewhere else, pretty much.
today's kids won't know that because they're going to look at Caleb Williams drafted in like the best situation ever.
Yeah,
Like today's kids are
he's
going to be
he's
like,
probably going to break that this year, I would imagine, or come
he's
damn close.
oh yeah, they're going to be an air raid, bro. Like I'm curious to see how that looks because the uh that whole division is very interesting because you still got Detroit, who's head honcho, and my favorite team in that division is Jordan Love's Packers.
Oh, for
So
sure.
I'm not even sure. Actually, we both called it. We were both like on the Love train before,
Oh, absolutely, brother.
and the guy oh, he doubled down for us, man. Like he
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 did.
doubled down. He bought all season, man, and I bet viewers are watching like, did they just compare this guy to Aaron Rodgers? And I think
Hey, man, he's got a lot of the Aaron Rodgers like I don't even know what I'm trying to say. He's got a lot of the mechanics.
oh, he
A lot
spins
of the
the
the way he throws, the flick of the wrist, the kind of the off platform with like the jump passes, shit like that. He's got a lot. He's learned a lot from Aaron Rodgers. You can definitely tell.
an unpopular opinion is I think he's already the best QB in that division.
I don't think that's a very unpopular opinion.
I mean, he's
I
he's
think he's certainly a better quarterback than Jared Goff.
mm,
And the other two, we don't know. I think he was better than Kirk Cousins last year, and then whoever else they ran through Minnesota. He's definitely going to be better than J.J. McCarthy.
yeah.
And we don't know about Caleb Williams. I do know about J.J. McCarthy's ass. Shitty ass.
I mean,
So
he's got wide receiver one, so
for now, we'll see how long that plays out. He may be out of town before we know it.
yeah, I'm curious. I mean, where would Jetta's the Bengals float around, but I'm not sure if they're realistic because of I just don't know. Like, I don't know if you want to be tied into three big positions and not even have any, but I don't know where else he would go. My
He
my
would be an expensive trade package for whoever wanted him. So I don't know if he'll move just based off of that alone, but I
my
know he probably don't want to play there right now.
my instincts say like the worst possible positions or worst possible places for a Bengal fan. It's like the Chiefs. It's like, I don't want to see that. And it's like the Chargers. I don't really want to see that
I
either.
think the Chargers would be more realistic than the Chiefs because I just don't know what the Chiefs would have to give up, and they're not in a very friendly cap spot right now. And I know the Chargers aren't either, but they got a lot of old heads that they can move around and restructure if they really needed to. The Chiefs don't really have that freedom.
Yeah, I'm not. And you obviously don't trade someone that elite to your same division, so I think it'd be mostly for AFC teams.
For sure.
And Houston was a good favorite before they landed Diggs, so I'm not really sure. Maybe Houston, not Houston, but Tennessee.
Tennessee would be good. I know they just signed a wide receiver.
D
Boyd.
Hop's isn't he?
Yeah, no, D Hop's still there.
Yeah,
They're not a very. They haven't been at least a very wide receiver friendly team either. They've obviously leaned on Derrick Henry for some years now. So
yeah. But when you bring in Brian Callahan, I promise you that changes. As a Bengal fan, I know he's not gonna he's not gonna run the ball at all, bro. Like, and you can look at their moves until that. I mean, you bring in Boyd, you draft a wide receiver, you re-sign D Hop, and then you kind of exchange your running backs, Derrick Henry for Tony Pollard. So you kind of transition into that side of football, which is cool. I mean, Will Levis looks like he can be a guy. So
you could.
I mean, you see him live.
I have seen him live. What I've seen live would not lead me to believe that he could be a guy, but hey, he had better games against other teams for sure. So
I do believe you've seen his first start on a late short week against a
it
top
was a
four.
Thursday night. I can't remember if it was his first start or not. It wasn't pretty, but I know he threw. He's got a game with 4 touchdowns, I think, don't he?
Mhm.
3 of them went to D Hop, I think.
Yeah, one of the last games of the season.
Yeah, he's shown flashes. He just didn't show flashes in front of me. I know that much.
So is Tannehill still there? Do you know?
Yes, yes, I
Mm.
think Tannehill is still there. He is the backup
I'm kind of
forever.
surprised someone didn't go trade him. I guess one of the QBs that I guess is being drafted now that you would want him to sit, and wait a little bit. I feel like Tannehill's a great bridge guy.
Yeah,
Same with Cousins. So I was kind of curious of why he didn't get any. Like, who did the Raiders go and grab?
Brock Bowers in the first round. They didn't draft a quarterback. They got Gardner Minshew and that other dude that took over for Jimmy Garoppolo last year. I think that's the only quarter. I don't think they drafted a quarterback.
Mm,
I think that's the only guys they got is Minshew
mm.
and what is his name?
Aiden O'Connell, huh?
Yep, Aiden O'Connell. Yep,
Mm.
those are the Raiders quarterbacks right now.
I'd be lying to say I'm moved at all. I thought they went and got a late rounder. Oh, I guess I'm thinking of Denver and Bo Nix. I mean, that would have been better than what you have. So, with
Yeah,
all these QBs, I was kind
I'm
of
not
surprised.
moved by that either. By the way, I'm not moved by Bo Nix and Denver at all.
I would take Bo Nix over anything that. I mean, for some reason, Antonio Pierce has this weird loyalty and belief in Aiden O'Connell, and I don't know why. I don't know what he's seen from him that I didn't. He's on the sidelines, but I'm watching on TV, so I'm also watching. So maybe his eyes seeing a different game plan than I've seen. But that guy,
Hey,
he's
I know with Aiden O'Connell, I didn't see anything that moved me at all.
yeah, he's a
Um,
white scrub. He can't play. Not a post move to remember.
you think Bo Nix is the Denver starter?
He has to be.
They just traded for Zach Wilson.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
You ain't moved by Zach Wilson?
yeah, like Zach had the keys for a long time in New York, and it's a tough place to play. I agree, but I mean, damn, you didn't even. I don't actually remember seeing Zach Wilson show like all but one flash, and that might have been the Chiefs game.
Chiefs game, yeah.
But other than
Which I
that,
mean, of course, that's like a random ass, fucking good ass team to have a flashy game against. But
yeah,
he'll go
I
out
don't.
and play a shitty team and play shitty. So
And I know their ages are probably close. Zach Wilson and Bo Nix, so you're not necessarily getting an experience. Like I mean, I think they're here and here. So
yeah,
why not go with the guy who's kind of newer to see what he has rather than you letting him sit? I mean, regardless, though, if you sit behind Zach Wilson, you know you're going to play. Just be patient, brother. Your time is coming.
time is coming for sure.
Yeah, you will be playing, throwing the rock. Just let him play. So he'll phase it out. But like I said, I wouldn't start. I would just throw him in the fire. That seems to be the new thing with the NFL quarterbacks, which I kind of agree with. You throw them in the fire and you just let them make the mistakes. I mean, you can still go the Jordan Love approach if you have Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
So,
that's not everybody has an Aaron Rodgers winning MVPs too type thing. Like
well,
nobody has that.
well, apparently the Falcons do, but we're not going to harp on that again. But you know,
Speaking of throwing a young quarterback into the wolves, that looks like what the Patriots are not going to do. It sounds like Jacoby Brissett is going to start over Drake May. At least right now, that's how they have it listed.
is he back?
Yeah, he signed with the Patriots again. Yep.
That's actually hilarious.
And their official early depth chart came out, and Drake May is quarterback too. So we'll see if that changes come training camp or whatever. But I wouldn't be surprised. It's a whole new regime in New England. Like they got a whole new way of doing things right now. For the
It's Rod
first time
Mayo.
in like ever. So it'll be interesting. I think they might let him sit. I mean, obviously they're not expecting to go and win a Super Bowl this year. So why throw your young quarterback out there and let him look like butt ass on TV for 17 weeks? And No, I wouldn't be surprised if they let him sit.
I mean, or you. I mean, I don't know. I'm like I said, I'm a kind of a fan of the. I think experience is the best teacher in the NFL. So, I mean, if you're not going to play and get the reps, I'd rather, you know,
I see that. I get that.
especially when you're that high of a pick. So I
Yeah,
wouldn't the whole season. I wouldn't mind maybe he's not ready week 1 or week 7 or 8, but he has to play like 4, maybe 5. You want him to get some
just
type
get
of
him something, right?
yeah.
I get
And
that.
your division isn't necessarily world beaters either. For cry, I'm you know what I mean. Like the Bills are on the way down. They lost everybody on defense. They lost their
Yeah,
best pass catcher. I mean, the Dolphins are another story, but I mean, you can the Jets. Like, I
I
mean, come on.
think I think my thing about Drake May right now is that the Bears have confirmed that Caleb Williams is starting. Obviously, the Commanders confirmed that Jaden Daniels is starting. Like these teams have publicly said that these guys are starting, and the Patriots are like putting Jacoby Brissett at quarterback 1 on their depth chart. So I don't know if I personally don't know if they would do that. I mean, obviously Chicago is a better situation for a day 1 guy, and maybe Washington is too, better than New England for throwing somebody out there to die. But I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. It's still really early, so
Yeah, I mean, the funny thing is, I think Brissett's gonna fuck around and like start like 3-1 or something. Like that's just some Jacoby stuff. Like
yeah.
probably Google out, but
He is a really good backup quarterback. Like what he was doing at Cleveland, he was looking just as
yeah,
good as Deshaun Watson and
the
maybe even better. So
last time he was in New England, I'm pretty sure he's 4-1. So I
yeah,
mean, way different team, but still, I mean, that's a good guy to play behind. Especially, I just think Jaden Daniels, he just has to learn how to get down. Everything else, he fits it. He's a little small, but
takes too many hits for sure.
yeah, and in the NFL, you're not going to make it long at all. As Joe
No,
Burrow, you're not going to get folded up and get right back up, and
not
even
every time.
like it's guys like Andrew Luck and Joe Burrow that I see like they always tell defenders good hits, and then there are also guys that's on the shelves for most of the time.
You know,
Uh, you should never.
one of the only guys I've seen get up like recently, like take hit after hit, was Cam Newton. Cam Newton, fucking,
Yeah,
I'm like, how is he getting up from some of these hits? But Jaden Daniels is obviously a lot smaller than Cam Newton was, so he can't do that on this level.
yeah. Well, Cam and I'd say Josh Allen are
Yeah,
maybe bigger than the linebacker that's hitting them. so,
yeah,
so
yeah,
like 250 and 6'6", like 250. Like we're pushing Vontez perfect size if we're not already. So it's kind
yeah.
of different. It's more like those guys aren't even getting, you can't even come, no Diddy, you can't even come how you want to and tackle these guys. Like, like you gotta actually hit them low and wrap the legs up, and you gotta, do all types of shit to even get these guys down on the ground. So it's kind of extra for to be honest with you. I just think Jaden McDaniels, he's got it all. He just needs to learn how to like protect himself.
Oh, for sure.
Could be a lot of Andrew Luck moments, but I got
RG3.
I got one more.
All right, what's
Can,
up?
can you give me two teams that will knock off the Chiefs this season that can at least get in the way of their three-peat?
Um, Two teams that could get in their way. I think a pretty exciting and obvious one would be like the Houston Texans.
Yeah, I agree.
If they can build, uh, off of what they did. I mean, the Browns' defense last year was like that was like the
Hey,
reason they were winning games and like dominantly was that defense, and
they were
then
historically good.
Houston walked them down on that defense and dropped 40. So
Yeah, that was
uh,
a crazy game.
obviously they didn't look very good against Baltimore, but Baltimore, speaking, pivoting onto them. If their defense was also very, very good last year.
I feel like
Lamar Jackson's coming off of an MVP season.
that was the time they should have beat them, though. I do. You held Mahomes to 17. You got to win that game.
Yeah,
Like, this
exactly.
is when you
They
got to.
almost did it. That's the thing. They almost did it, man.
Yeah,
Lamar's coming off of an MVP, which obviously postseason that doesn't mean anything because he just uh, a little gun shy in the postseason sometimes. But they add Derrick Henry. If he could stay healthy and be even like, you know, even half of what he was is still a better running back than Lamar
Yeah.
Jackson's had. So take some of that pressure off of Lamar in the postseason would be nice. Um, those two, Cincinnati, uh, out of the AFC, they're a little questionable. I need to see Joe Burrow play again. Um, but if he's back to what he was, then I mean it's no problem. They'll make the playoffs. They'll obviously give these teams a run for their money. So I think those three teams right now are like the ones that I think could do it.
So you just named, I heard 2 AFC North teams,
AFC North is scary, brother.
but Josh Allen he's a non-factor at this point.
I think he should be lucky to see a seventh seed this year.
Mm.
They're gonna fall hard. They're already questionable. They have all kinds of injuries on defense every year. It feels like, and then they lose guys on defense. They lose Stephon Diggs. They got Josh Allen's going to have to play Superman probably more this so than ever before. So we'll see how that pans out for them.
And we don't believe in the Dolphins, I'm guessing.
Not versus the Chiefs, no.
No, I just need a clarity. No.
Or any team that they have to play where the temperature is below 65 degrees. Because once you start getting a little chilly outside, they fold. So
Tuck their tails, huh?
no, for sure.
So fast forward, let's say they do get past all of them. Like let's say the Chiefs 3 straight Super Bowls. What team in the NFC do you see? You see the Niners again? I don't like that matchup. I mean, you had 2 of them at the last. I don't like that. So there has to
I
be another.
think I don't know if I think the 49ers could make it again. But I just don't know that they could get past the Chiefs. I really don't. The Eagles, I'm not really sold on the Eagles as much as I have been in the past. Cowboys, maybe weeks 1 through 18, they're all right.
Hey!
Um,
You just said you're not sold on the Eagles, but you brought up Derrick Henry to the Ravens, and I haven't heard nothing about Saquon.
Saquon will be all right.
I
He'll
feel
be
like
all
that's
right.
better.
Hmm?
I feel like that fit is better than Henry to the.
Yeah, he'll be all right. I'm just not so much sold on the Eagles as far as quarterback play goes versus the Ravens. I think the Ravens got a much better quarterback, and I don't know. I'm not in on the Eagles right now, man. I'm just not. Saquon doesn't move me like that for real.
Well, they just brought in a
What's he gonna do? Be another fullback for the quarterback sneak, or what are we doing? Question
chill,
on some.
bro. Okay, I feel that, but they just had like 1,000-yard season out of DeAndre Swift.
Yeah, I'm not. I said he'll be all right. He'll be all right.
You put
He'll,
Saquon in there, man, he might feed families.
he might.
Like,
He's also had torn ACL in the past, and I mean I've seen him have a couple breakoffs last year where he just ran out of gas. He just was out of steam.
I mean, shit, bro. It's me and you blocking at tackle and guard. Like, they have who's giving these blocks? Like, he's never seeing second level. He's always getting hit in the backfield. I feel like this is like a breath of fresh air. He's still under
Oh, for
27.
sure.
So, I mean, the
He'll be
guy,
all right. I'm not doubting that he'll. He could at least get 1,000 yards. If DeAndre Swift can get 1,000 yards and Saquon Barkley can get 1,000 yards, like that's easy. It doesn't move me enough to be like that's a Super Bowl champion piece right there to
even
me.
without the addition of superstar Cooper DeJean,
Um, they lost Jason Kelsey too, which is obviously a big piece of that offensive line and the gel that holds it together. So,
hey
hey,
man, you got
Cooper
anything else
Cooper
for us?
DeJean is crazy, bro.
Big Coop, Big 2024. You got anything else for us, man?
No, I think that covers it all, man. Unless you got something else.
No, I'm good for next time. I'm good for next time, though.
Oh, for sure.
So that wraps it up for us, man. I appreciate you, Dev.
Hey, no problem, brother. This was great.
Yeah, great episode. So I'm Ant.
I'm Dev.
This was Redzone Rants. We'll see you guys later.